Alright, welcome back to Audax Hiberniae. Today I'm in County Louth, one of Ireland's smallest county, not the smallest county in Ireland actually, but honestly one of the most history-packed counties in the country. I'm starting here in Lumpers pub, and from here I have a route planned to take in 4 official Hibernian locations, plus one extra that's well worth the effort. I'm already in the north of the county and I'm going to head up into the Cooley Mountains first, where I'll take on 2 of the locations. They're actually not too far from here and they're pretty close together. After that, I'm going to head a little bit west to the bonus location, and then all the way south to the other 2, and again they're pretty close together. So better get started because it's the end of December. The days are short, that's why I'm starting here. It's just light. Hopefully this comes through all right. And yeah, I better go. Today I'm on my road bike, fair light, because it's going to be all road, and I want to get done quick and get home and eat some sweets and pudding. Kilometers into this ride, and we've already hit what probably is the biggest climb of the day, if I'm honest. It's called Jacktown Hill. It goes all the way up to Longwoman's Grave, which is, believe it or not, our second visit of the day. So let's say halfway up the hill, and here we come to Magic Road, or the Magic Hill. Can you see it? Yeah, neither can I. To be honest, that's what's amazing about it. So see, I don't know if you can come through in the camera here, but looks like I'm gonna go down a bit of a dip in the hill here before I start going up. Right, so this is Magic Hill, and if you've never been here before, it messes with your head a bit. You stand here, it looks like we have a slight uphill here. But if you park your car here and leave it with the handbrake off, it's going to go up that hill. I'm going to try it now on the bike to see if it works on the bike. To tell you the truth, I never really stop here. I normally come down that hill at maybe 60 kilometers an hour. So this will be a bit of an experiment for myself as well. So how does it work? Well, there's no magnets, no ferries like the old people would lead you to believe. Believe it or not, it's just an optical illusion. There's a few of these in the country, but not many, but there is a few. And yeah, I'll show you now. It's just the landscape that makes it look like it's uphill. It's the way the trees and the way the hills around it are set. So there's no real landmark here. You'd fly past here pretty quick and not know anything about it. It's only if you stop in this location right here, where you'll hopefully see your car go uphill. I have a fond memory of a story my dad told me about this hill. It was of 2 American couples that were driving around the countryside maybe 50 or 60 years ago, and they stopped the car to take a leak. As he was relieving himself in the hedge, the girls in the car started screaming their heads off, and he turned around to see the car rolling up the hill. He had to zip up quick and run after them. I always remember that story as I passed through here. Initial climb done. A few more wee stingers and a bit of a mountain road, and then we're there about, let's say about 2 kilometers away. Just enjoying the view. So that's most of the climbing done. I'll give you a breakdown of the stats for today. So this is a 153 kilometer loop with nearly 1200 meters of elevation. So not the worst in the world, but it's going to take a while. Most of these roads I would have cycled many times. Louth is my native county. So I'll try to pick out the best routes to show you the best of the county. I'll try to spin along the way. Maybe someday you can do it too.
Just up the road from Magic Hill is one of those places where Irish landscape and legend really come together. It's the Long Woman's Grave. The story goes that local chieftain Lurkin O'Hanlon fell in love with a Spanish woman named Kathleen. She is said to be unusually tall, which of course is where the name comes from. He brought her back to the Cooley Mountains as his bride. But when she arrived and saw the land, which was wild, exposed in a mountain pass, she was so heartbroken by how different it was from her home that she collapsed and died. The locals buried her here right on this pass, and over time the grave became a cairn. Now, there's no historical proof of any of this actually happening, but like a lot of Irish legends, it stuck around because people kept telling it. And when you stand there with the wind coming through the gap and nothing but mountains around you, it's not hard to see why this story survived.
So our next stop is going to be Roche Castle, just west of the town of Dundalk, probably about 10 kilometers from myself. Yeah, I just thought I'd add it to it because I didn't want to just go the quickest way to the next location, because I'd have to come back the same way. So I'm trying to make a bit of a loop just to show you guys more of the county. And I'm near Roche Castle, so I said I'd throw it in there. It's quite nice. Village in Ireland. Post office, shop, and even a few people living there. Oh, here comes a crowd of boys cycling. nearly at Roche Castle now. Should be just up around these few corners. Nope, not yet. And here we go. Oh, by the way, it's very old. There she is. Pretty impressive building for its time. Obviously built on a big egg crop for protection. Let me get some facts for you.
So this is Roche Castle, and it's one of those places where the location tells you almost everything you need to know straight away. It was built in the early 1200s by the de Verdun family, one of the powerful Anglo-Norman families who were granted power here by England after the Normans invaded them. Families like the de Verdun's were here to hold territory for the English crown, and castles like this weren't just homes, they were statements of power. From up here you could control routes, watch movements across the land, and make your presence very clear. But Roche Castle sat on what was effectively a frontier. It was a contested land where Norman control constantly met resistance from Gaelic Irish clans, and that made it vulnerable when wider conflicts broke out. The turning point came in 1315 during the Bruce invasion of Ireland. Edward Bruce, brother of Robert de Bruce, King of Scotland, landed in Ireland with a large army. His goal was to weaken English power by opening up a second frontier in their war with Scotland, and ultimately to have himself High King of Ireland. As Bruce's army moved south through Ulster and into Louth, they didn't hold castles like this. They destroyed them. The strategy was scorched earth. Castles were burned so that they couldn't be used again by the English or Anglo-Norman forces. So Roche Castle was attacked and set on fire during this campaign. That single event effectively broke its role as a major stronghold, and it has never fully recovered. In the centuries that followed, warfare changed. Power shifted, and castles like this slowly became outdated. By the time Ireland entered the violent conflicts in the 1600s, including the 1641 rebellion and the Cromwellian period, Roche Castle was already old and partly ruined. It may have been reused briefly and damaged again, but it was no longer central to military strategy, and after that it was abandoned completely. Today it's just ruins, but you can still imagine how dominant it would have been, controlling the land around it, watching everything that moved below.
Okay, so a few nasty wee climbs to get out of here. It's like up and down here for the next 5 kilometres or so. Then we come to the village of Knockbridge, through that on to Louth Village, RD, and Cullen, and then Monasterboice. So I reckon it's about 50 kilometres or close to it. So I'm just gonna get stuck in, enjoy the scenery, take a few clips. I'll see you when I get there. Quiet today. It's the 28th of December, so a lot of people are off work. Makes for a nice relaxing ride. I reckon the towns be pretty busy though when we get to RD, especially. Then when we come back through Dundalk, it's going to be pretty nuts, but look, I'll enjoy it now while it lasts. Bit of a wriggly road going on here. And it's actually quite a busy road, so I'm lucky as today it is, because otherwise we'd be encountering a lot of traffic, and there's no way they'd overtake me safely. Guys around here don't take kindly to cyclists, so get off this road as quick as possible. RD to Cullen. Just keep the head down, keep her get off this as soon as possible. Oh lads, that was a nasty hill. Just note to yourselves that the road from RD to Cullen is a bit of a bitch.
So this is Monasterboice, and this place brings you right back to the very beginnings of Christian Ireland. The monastery here was founded in the 5th century by St. Booth, which means people have been living, praying and learning here in this exact spot for about 1500 years. Long before towns and long before roads like we know today, this was the centre of community and belief. But what really draws people here are the high crosses. They are widely regarded as the finest high crosses in Ireland, and once you get up close to them, it's easy to see why. This cross dates back to the 9th or 10th century, and every surface is covered with detailed carvings. These aren't random decorations, they're stories, scenes of the Old and New Testament, carved into the stone at a time when most people couldn't read or write. The monks here would have used the cross as a teaching tool. They'd stand here and literally point to the scenes as they told the stories, turning scripture into something that people could see and understand. Originally, these carvings would have been brightly painted as well, so imagine how striking it would have looked 1,000 years ago. You've also got the round tower here, with its doorway several metres above ground level. This wasn't a design choice for looks, it was for protection. During Viking raids, people could climb up, pull up the ladder, and keep themselves and their vulnerable safe. What I love about Monasterboice is how calm it feels now. It's quiet and almost peaceful. But this place has seen centuries of life, learning, raids and change. It survived the Viking Age, the Norman period, and everything that came after. Standing here, you're not just looking at stone crosses. You're standing in one of the most important chapters in Ireland's early history.
Well, that was number 3. Well, the third Hibernian destination of today. Now, one more to go. It's not too far away. Just have to do a bit of descent into Drogheda, through the town of Drogheda, and then just as we went to the far side, we come to Drogheda Viaduct.
So this is the Boyne Viaduct, and when you stand near it, you really get a sense of how ambitious this project was. The viaduct was completed in 1855, right in the middle of the Industrial Revolution, when railways were completely transforming how people moved around in Ireland. At the time it opened, this was the largest iron railway bridge in the world, which is hard to imagine now. But back then it was seen as a huge engineering achievement. It was designed by John Benjamin McNeill, one of Ireland's leading engineers in the 19th century. His job was to solve a massive problem. How do you carry a railway line across a wide tidal river like the Boyne, using mid-1800s technology? The solution was a series of huge iron spans supported by stone piers towering above the river. Building it would have been incredibly challenging. Sinking foundations into the riverbed, dealing with tides, currents, the weather, all without modern machinery. Everything was done with manpower, ingenuity and a lot of risk. The reason it mattered so much was the railway itself. The bridge completed a rail link between Belfast and Dublin, connecting Ireland's two biggest cities, changing trade, travel and communication across the island. Suddenly, people and goods could move faster than ever before. What I love about this spot is the contrast. Below you is the Boyne River, flowing through a landscape that's been shaped for thousands of years in Irish history, and right above it is a symbol of the industrial age, still in use today, still carrying trains more than 150 years later. It's a reminder that history isn't always monasteries and ruined castles. Sometimes it's iron, stone and engineering, and they can be just as impressive.
That was Drogheda, Drogheda Viaduct. So, that's the Audax Hiberniae done and dusted. My cycle is nowhere near done. I still have to make my way back, all the way back to the north of Louth, which is about 55 kilometres from here. I'm nearly in Baltray. I then have to go to Termonfeckin. Can't remember where else. Annagassan. So, yeah, ways to go. Yeah, then Castle Bellingham. Then through Blackrock and Dundalk. And once I get to there, it's pretty much licked. But, yeah, I'm going alright for it. It's 1:30. So I reckon about another 2 hours should do me. I'm heading east at the moment and the wind is right in my face. I'm hoping when I turn north, it'll not be so hard to get through. Fingers crossed. You can get a bit of assistance because, yeah, feeling it. 100 kilometres done now. Definitely feeling it. just right, we're coming up towards Dundalk now. Well, I'm going to swing in round by Blackrock, but yeah, pretty trip, 130k on the legs, so it's the most I've done in a very long time. So yeah, look forward to getting home, putting the feet up in front of the fire. Nearly there. Nearly there, lads. Nearly there. Nearly there, lads. I'm literally about 3 kilometers away from home. So, I'm just going home. It's the same distance up to the Lumpers Bar as it is to me going home, so yeah, I'm going home. You guys go on ahead to Lumpers and have a nice pint. You've definitely earned it. That's the Louth Hiberniae. Hope you enjoyed that one too. I enjoyed riding it. It's a really nice route. A few main roads that I tried to, probably if you could bypass around, then do so. But yeah, otherwise it's a really good route. Not sure which I'm going to tackle next. Maybe we fellas down to Offaly next month. See if the weather's good. If we can get down nice and early, I'll do the ride before his game. But yeah, a lot of things have to align, as you know. Anyway, take me a few weeks to edit this, get it out to you. Happy New Year. Well, it'll be New Year already. Still, Happy New Year.